What's going on, people? We're back for another reaction. This one was emailed to me, limpyreacts@gmail.com. It'll be down there in the description below as well. Um, where did we go here? It was Junior Johnston, and it looks like a Mike Murillo update. Uh, as y'all know, he had cancer, or has cancer, or I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. This is uh, what we're finding out. I've not known. I mean, I've met Mike many years ago. Uh, hell, that's when we had the shop in Canada. So, geez, that was probably that was back in its heyday, probably in the early 2000s. So, I mean, so probably 20 years at least, roughly, I'd say. Uh, back when he had uh, back before the Mustang, before he put the twin. I think it was the twins in the back, but it was the one before that, or it might be the same one. They just did it over. I can't remember, but Fun Ford weekends, muscle Mustangs, and all that stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, and the best way to support the channel is either this way. You can give a thumbs up, uh, comment, like, subscribe, comment, uh, watch it as much as you through. Comment, so at least that tells YouTube that y'all like what y'all see, and uh, so they'll suggest it to other people. So, all right, so we have my cancer and health update 2024, my journey through season 6 of Street Outlaws, No Prep Kings. Oh yeah, I forgot he did that because I don't I haven't watched not one episode. Actually, I've not watched one episode since uh, the very first season of the OG, or whatever they would call it, the original. Anyway, uh, it's a long sucker right here. Ooh,
So the damage that it did to my spine has filled back in. Currently in remission. More follow ups.
all right. So how come I think I'm missing something here? As it sounds like he's already talking, and we're already 6 seconds in, and he's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll elaborate.
Scans in February. So, folks, I'm in remission. Bottom line, I'm in remission.
Good deal. Oh, that's something I should do, but I don't.
Hello, everyone. Um, I'm finally going to do an update. First thing, I want to apologize for how long it's taken me to do this. I know we've had so many people, so many fans, so many friends that have been praying for us and praying for me in particular, and it means a lot. It's just hard for me to do videos like this. So I made some notes, and I
Oh,
kind of
get
wanted
out.
to do a quick recap on the last video and tell you what's going on right now. And today's video is going to be just about my physical stuff. Um, we got a bunch of other stuff going on in the shop, and with the new season coming up, that we'll go over at a later date. So, anyways, so back to the cancer. Um, just a real quick recap in case some of you didn't see the very first video, and I do apologize. This is probably going to be another long video, but I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can. So, for the last couple years prior to being diagnosed in late 2022, I was feeling really crappy. I had shortness of breath. I was overweight, all of the above. I still am overweight, but anyways, I was really overweight then. But so, and it kind of all started after COVID. COVID is what kind of, I feel like, was the beginning of what did me in. However, and I'll get to this later, but COVID had nothing to do with the cancer. It's just kind of weird how they kind of intertwine with one another with some of the details that I'll share with you. But so anyway, so back in 2021, as we made a video prior to this, but I was in critical condition for 7 days at the hospital, and without going into all that detail, it was a miracle. I made it. I was on the floor with 7 individuals, and I was the only survivor out of the 7. In fact, when I left, there was only one person that I knew was still alive, but I had never heard what happened to them. And then later on, my nurse, who I didn't even recognize her because every time I saw her in the hospital, she had a mask on, but she saw me at some type of function. I can't remember exactly where we were, but she came up to me and she, with tears in her eyes, and said, "Just want you to know that you're the only person that survived on that first floor." So
Hmm.
that was pretty crazy situation. But anyways, don't want to talk too much about that right now. But anyway, so I started feeling bad, before COVID, but really started catching on in 2021 with COVID epidemic that everybody was going through. In June of 2022, in the middle of the season, we had stopped in at the Mills place, and long story short, I started spitting blood, and I couldn't believe it. I'm not a spitter to begin with, but when you get congestion like we have going on right now, you have a tendency to cough and hack and spit a couple loogies here and there. But anyways,
I'll smoke to
so when
that.
I spit, I noticed the dark blood in my spit, and I knew that couldn't be good. But we were in the middle of racing, Bowling Green, Minnesota. We went to the Mills house, which is in Tulsa. That's where I started spitting blood. But I didn't go to the hospital until after the next race, which was in Houston. So that's after the
So you'd be
Houston race.
closer home.
We were going to have, I believe, 2 weeks off, if I remember right, and then we're going to go home. And I just went to the emergency room, but got home, went to an ER clinic. That's what we were recommended to do, so they could do quick, um, X-rays on my chest and see what's going on. And they found an enlarged heart. There was fluid around my heart, and I was immediately scheduled to have a pericardial window done, um, which was days before we were going back to Tulsa after Houston, days before going to Tulsa. And so we had to schedule that. It was kind of an emergency deal. And they ended up draining 16 ounces of fluid from around my heart. And they also did a biopsy after the heart procedure, August 8th. And that's when they saw the cancer. And what was kind of weird is that when they went back and looked at my film from when I had COVID, the cancer was actually there, but it mixed in with my lungs because of how damaged they were from the COVID. So the tumor that was on my lung actually kind of mixed in with the COVID white spots, if that makes sense. And so it was there, but they really didn't think much about it. They thought it was just part of the COVID. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer. I'm going to try to give you more details than I did on the previous video. And so we spent a lot of time on proper terminology so that anybody out there that's looking at this can kind of compare notes, if
I'm glad he can pronounce some of this stuff. I would be like, I don't even know how to pronounce this word.
so to speak. I'm also going to share some pictures as we're going along. But anyways, diagnosed stage 4 non-small lung cancer and no carcinoma. Sorry, reading notes. Adenocarcinoma. August of 2022. There was a mass on my left lung, nodules in the right lung, there was lymph nodes, cancer in the lymph nodes, in the chest, and there was a pretty good mass on my spine. So, that was the life changer, as you can imagine. And again, we kind of touched this on the last video. But we had an appointment. We talked to a clinical trial drug that we were going to try to get on, and plans changed. They did some genetic testing on me. Genetic testing came back, and I was eligible to take called a targeted therapy drug. It's actually a pill. because of a rare gene mutation that I have that only 1 to 2% of people have. So we were scheduled to go back and get a chemo port put in. Didn't have to do that, thank God. And I ended up doing this target therapy, is what they call it. I don't want to call it a trial because it wasn't a trial. It had been out for a little while. And here's a pic of the Rosalitrek targeted therapy drug. And I was also getting Zometa bone infusions. Um, and then, of course, right after that, we experienced the worst, I don't want to call it an accident, but worst mishap that I've ever had since racing, which was the huge car fire we had September 24th in Norwalk, Ohio. Um,
That's 5 days
and that
after
was
his
kind of a
birthday.
weird deal. So, and I know I'm sorry if I keep going back on stuff that you've already
I
seen.
don't
You
even
can
know the
fast
car
forward the
caught on fire.
video, through the recap. The recap's probably going to be about 10 minutes long. But anyways, that's when I kind of let everybody know that I had cancer because they asked me, and I'm laying on Corey Swanstrom's legs, and they asked me, "Do you have any conditions or what's wrong with you, and anything wrong with you?" And I told them stage 4 cancer, and you could have heard a pin drop. But anyway, so radiation
So,
was scheduled, and so I did radiation.
so that just tells me right there that he didn't want nobody to know. So, I mean, that's what I got out of it. I don't know about what y'all got out of it. Let me know down there, but I want nobody to know. You know, maybe I'll just not as public as everybody else is.
From November of 2022, and I did 10 days of radiation on my spine. They were originally going to do 5 doses of radiation, high doses of radiation, but they opted for 10 straight days of radiation with low dose instead of the 5 high doses. Um, and at the same time, as some of you can probably remember, I blew both my knees out. Incredible timing. It's just incredible timing. So then we had to talk about double knee replacement, which I ended up having done in February of 2023. The thing about this, guys, I've never ever smoked. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarettes.
I smoke
Um,
weed.
so this I feel like it came from something, and I and
It's
I feel
hereditary.
like you know it came from me dynoing cars. And so anybody that knows me knows that I've tuned cars for many years. I've had 3 different dynos, and the dyno that we had at the time and in the location that we had it in, the dyno, which you insert picture here, it was up against a wall, and so I was literally sucking on exhaust for, I guess, what, 15 years straight, if I remember right how long it was. And I've been dyno tuning since 1997, with absolutely zero precautions, folks. I didn't wear a mask. It's not that I thought I was tough. It's just being young and dumb. You know what I mean? Just being young and dumb,
We're
and
all still
no big
we're
deal.
all
I
still
smell
young
like
and dumb.
exhaust every time I go home. Who cares? It's no big deal. But anyways, with that being said, I feel like that's kind of what went down, and was the probably the nail in the coffin when it comes to me getting diagnosed with cancer, or how I caught it, so forth and so on. So, anyways, that's the recap. Um, like I said, I was going to spend about 10 minutes doing that, and I'll get started on the update. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. We kind of left off talking about the dyno. I got a little bit more on the recap that I wanted to bring up. I know we talked about bad ventilation, et cetera, et cetera. And the other thing that I wanted to touch on was how heavy I got. So during this period of time, I had ballooned up my what I call my fighting weight. We all have that fighting weight to where a weight that you can maintain fairly easy, and you feel good, and you're not necessarily trying to lose 30 pounds and keep that 30 pounds up. My natural fighting weight that I can maintain pretty much without an issue is about 250 pounds. Well, I had gone all the way up to 302 pounds, I believe, when all this started, and then quickly got up to 320 pounds once I started taking the target therapy medicine. So 320 pounds. I'm sure some of you've seen some pictures of me. It was unbelievable. It was extremely unhealthy, hard on the knees, hard on everything. So that's one of the things I wanted to I didn't touch on, but the huge weight gain, and I'm sure any cancer patients that are on here that have taken some type of steroids or whatever that may be, you're going to gain some weight. And I, boy, did I gain some weight. I already have a problem with late night eating, and anybody knows racing NPK or any kind of racing, you get done late at night and you eat Waffle House. Waffle House is kind of the number one place to go. But anyway, just a lot of late night eating. Pop Tarts, I love Pop Tarts, and cookies, and all that crap that I was eating at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, well, got up to 320 pounds. Um, I had to do something about it. I mean, it was not only was I sick as all hell, my knees were blown out. I got cancer. How the heck am I going to exercise to lose weight? So we scheduled a appointment in Tijuana, Mexico. Tijuana,
Ay,
Mexico.
ca, ca, ca,
Yes,
ca.
to go get the gastric bypass or whatever it's called that several people have gotten that also race on NPK. I needed some type of help. I mean, obviously I wasn't going to go jogging, so we scheduled this. I'm excited. I feel like this can be a new beginning, be some help, and we get a call from them. I believe it was on a Friday. We were scheduled to be there on a Monday, or I got a call on a Monday. We're supposed to be there Friday. Doesn't matter. But either way, we got a call from the Mexican doctors in Tijuana, Mexico, saying that they refused to do any kind of procedures on me because of the cancer diagnosis. Crushed. I was absolutely crushed. Didn't know what I was going to do. So, um,
Mm,
only thing I can do is just change my eating habits, which is, like I said, very hard to do with what we do for a living.
I love
Well,
eating.
I did it anyways because one of the things the doctor said was, you know, cancer loves sugar. Um, so, I mean, obviously, that was most of my diet was sugar. So, I did take out a lot of the sugars, in fact, all of them. And, I was so apprehensive about whether I could lose any weight. But, anyways, I did, and man, it was working. And one of the things that we did try, and again, I want to be totally honest with y'all because I know a lot of you are gone through or going through what I'm going through. I was trying to get some help. Inevitably, I ended up losing as of June 2023. So from August, September of the previous year, in June of 2023, I had lost a total of 70 pounds, and this is kind of how I did it. Besides the changing of the diet, um, one of the things that we tried to do, we tried to use a diabetic drug called Monjaro. Um, was told that this is better than some of the other stuff that's on the market, and it's the best thing out there. So we did that. I did that. I did it for a month, but it was way too expensive. Couldn't afford to keep doing that because insurance isn't going to pay for stuff like that. And so I did it for a month. I absolutely saw a difference. I can't remember exactly how much weight, but I believe in a month time it was around 10 to 15 pounds, if that sounds right. If Lisa was here, she would tell me the exact number. But anyway, so I got off of that because it was too expensive. So the next thing I did, and I did it for a few months, was semi-glutide is what I was doing, and I did that for a few months. Once again, during this period of time, I lost a total of 70 pounds, but during this period of time, these were the different things that I was doing, as well as changing the eating habits. I did the semi-glutide for a few months, and then I got on Ozempic. Now, when I started using Ozempic, I have still been using Ozempic, but I've been kind of using it off and on. Um, from what I understand, there's you're supposed to do cycles of it. Obviously, I'm not doing a regiment and doing it probably how I'm supposed to be doing it, but to this day I have been doing Ozempic off and on. So I'll go on it for a month and maybe take a month off, and But one of the problems that I had is once we started racing in 2023, all the bad habits started coming back. So I lost that 70 pounds before we even started racing. And then once we got through with racing and I came home, I hadn't jumped on a scale since, I got down to 250. I got down to 250 exactly. I'd been up to 320 on the scale, and then I got down to 250 even. And I was 267 right after the end of the season. Not happy with myself. And, once
17
again,
pounds ain't bad.
bad habits, bad eating, late nights, Waffle House, Pop Tarts, brownies, cookies. You know what I mean? Just bad dieting, bad eating habits. Period. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So go back to, anyways. I'm back down into the high 250s at this point, and we are filming this. We are in mid-January of 2024. So the scans. Let's talk about the scans. So here's the update. So we went in for a scan in July, and they were going to check to see where I was. They did all the blood work. They did the scans, and in July and November, I have been in remission.
Good deal.
So
Good
what a
deal.
what a blessing. But let me
Amen.
tell you a quick story of how funny it was. So when we go in July and we're talking with the doctor, and I forgot to tell you, my brother, my younger brother Andy, he knows a lot about this stuff. He's in the medical field as it is, and so he would always go with us, even from the diagnosis. He's always been there for me and gone with us, and so he's there with the doctor, the oncologist, and we had scheduled to go in, and this is in July, so I'm about to find out how I'm doing with all the treatments, and so obviously I'm nervous as all can be. And we were late to our appointment, so we were in the not the waiting room, but we were actually in a room for like an hour and a half, close to an hour and a half before the doctor came in. So when you're sitting there that long in a room for an hour and a half, the
Ah,
things that are going through my head, I'm like, I'm for sure dying. I'm for sure this shit has come back.
damn.
He's taking forever to come
He
in here
ain't,
and
he ain't
talk to
wrong.
me. This can't be good, right? I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. You know, my brain is just going crazy about it. But he comes in and he's got a smile on his face. The first thing you read when your doctor comes in, you look at their face, you look at their
Hmm.
eyes. He's got a smile on his face. He's real chipper. Hey, how you doing? This and that. And he proceeds to tell us that everything looks great. He said
Good
the
deal.
the tumor on my lung, and I'll read some of his notes here in just a minute. But the tumor on my lung looks good. The radiation on my spine has done what it was supposed to do. My blood work is coming back great. So awesome. So we this is great news, but you're always looking over your shoulder. Anybody that has cancer, that's had cancer, you always know you're looking over your shoulder. So I took that. I was excited about it, but probably not as excited as I should be, because I'm always like, okay, yeah, but let's see what it's doing in 2 months from now. You know what I mean? So we were excited. So we start racing. All right, we start racing and get back into the racing season. And by the way, my oncologist is an unbelievable human being. His name is Dr. Drangler Pick. Look at that good looking son of a gun. He's my oncologist here in San Antonio. So, what I want to talk about is the medicine that I'm on. So, here we are, we're in July, and everything's, looking good. But here are some of the side effects that my medicine has had on me and is still having on me. And so this is side effects from the medicine of Rosalitrek and Zometa, Zometa, for the bone infusions. So, and I know that Lizzie had these same identical side effects when she and I would talk to each other throughout the whole year of last year when we would be on the starting line together. And prayers for Lizzie. We think about her practically every day. I haven't talked to her since the season ended, and I hope she's doing okay. I'm sure she's fighting the fight. So prayers to Lizzie and her family. But anyways, here's the side effects that I
Yep.
had from the medicine that we just mentioned. Uh, Extreme heat and sun sensitivity. The skin, I had several skin rash bumps. To this day, I have some major nerve pain. Now let me back up for a second. Understand something. I am happy to be alive. Okay, so this
Yeah, you
information that
have the
I'm giving
haters.
is mainly
Woo.
for you, for anybody that's out there that's going through the same thing. I'm going to be telling you what I'm going through, but this is not a feel sorry for me. This is not a I'm complaining. Oh, woe is me. You know what I'm trying to say. But this is the stuff that I am currently going through as we speak. But once again, I am blessed to be alive, and I'll
Amen.
take that being alive with whatever conditions I have right now over not being here. So I'll move forward from there. But I'm also changing my hat, as you can tell, through this deal. So if you're trying to skip through or go faster or whatever, you can fast forward to a certain section. We probably will have that on there anyways. But all right, heat sensitivity, sun sensitivity, rash bumps, major nerve pain. I have extremely major nerve pain. Uh, the knee. Let's talk about the knee for a second. So after my knee surgery, I did not do rehab like I was supposed to because I had the knee surgery and I want to say I got double knee replacement and we went within a month, I want to say month and a half, maybe 2 months, went right into racing. So folks, I did not do the proper therapy and rehab that I should have on my knees, and I'm paying the price for it right now. The my right knee has not healed correctly. It hurts every day, all day. There's no getting around about it. I don't walk right. It's embarrassing to walk around. But to add insult to injury, I'll show you a pic here. Insert pic of knee riding my Buramax scooter. It was Corey, myself. We were riding around. I went back to the trailer to try to get something. Long story short, I ran into the door of the trailer with my knee, the open door, and it knocked me off the scooter. Actually, knocked me into Lisa's trailer and the scooter. The scooter dented Lisa's trailer, her merchandise trailer. And I knew I did something, but I wasn't quite sure what I did. And so this was, man, I can't even tell you, maybe in August, September. And here recently, we went in because I know that during this off season, we're in 2024 already, but during this off season, I need to get this knee fixed properly. And so he comes out, and once again, picture. He comes out and he says, "What did you do?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Your kneecap is broken in half, and it's broken in half this way, not this way," which is actually kind of common. And I said, "I told you, man, I ran into the door of the trailer. I'd already given him specifics on what I did." It's almost like he didn't believe me. But he said, I've never seen this before. And I said, you know what? If I had a dollar for every time I have heard, whether it be a blown up motor, whether it be physically, whether it be a broken kneecap, every time I hear they've never seen this before, I would have at least $15. But anyway, so the knee is jacked up. I'm gonna have to get that fixed during the off season. So we've already gone and, in fact, I just did some CAT scans and MRIs and all that fancy, expensive shit stuff. Um, and we're just waiting on when they're going to schedule me to get back in there. So now for the good news. Scan results. Once again, I told you July. Well, I went back again in November. Okay, so just this past November, which was just a few months ago. Tumor on your lung now
Five,
looks
six
like
months.
dead, scarred tissue. Lymph nodes now back to normal size, and the mass on the spine has healed up and the bone has filled back in. So the
Okay.
damage that it did to my spine has filled back in. Currently in remission. More follow up scans in February. So, folks, I'm in remission. Bottom line, I'm in remission. Now, here's something that's happened to me here recently that I wanted to share with y'all because we have no answers right now, even from the doctor. So, obviously, since COVID, since all of this, since 2021, it's not like I worked out. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I worked out all the time, but I did normal working, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, during, we all do as racers. We all, do what we normally got to do during the day and we work on our shit at night. But obviously, I haven't had the energy to do these things. But here recently, I've started to get better and I've started to feel better to where I can do these things. And I had a couple episodes. Actually, it's happened 3 or 4 times now, but the first two were really scary. But what it does, okay, so, and this all happened right after exerting myself. So I washed the trailer. I washed both trailers. I know that sounds crazy, like that's not a workout. Well, it is if you haven't done anything in several years. But so, I washed the trailers just like that. Washed the trailers, hosed them off, everything you do. I did the trailers myself because I wanted to get the exercise. It was good cardio, I felt like. And let me tell you something, it hit me like a freaking freight train. I had body aches, I had flu like symptoms. I was in so much pain, my hair hurt. The top of my feet hurt. Every joint in my body hurt. I couldn't get my wedding ring on in the morning. I had a hard time getting it off at night. I can't bend down to pick up. Okay, I got a banana from the kitchen. This
Gotta
was
get
not
these
even that long
plastic
ago.
ones
This
or
was
these rubber
maybe
ones. Gotta get
maybe
these rubber
30
ones.
days ago, maybe. Um, I dropped the banana peel on the kitchen floor and I could not even bend down to pick it up. So it just sat there. So Lisa thought I was just being really lazy. But, anyways, dropped a banana peel, couldn't pick it up, can't close my fist, my throat hurts while eating. Here's the craziest part. So this has happened, folks, 3 to 4 times already. I feel like I'm dying. In fact, after the second time, I felt so bad that I told Lisa the night before, if I don't feel better in the morning, take me to the hospital. Something's not right. I wake
You
up at
know,
7 in the morning. And
man. If I say if I'm sick, I'm sick. I'm just I usually can tough through shit. I've got no lay of laugh, but I've got a high tolerance for pain, or I'll usually just go to sleep. If something really hurts me really bad, I'll just go to sleep to ignore it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like when I got back from all that stuff in Ohio that one year, and I was spent a week in the hospital. I was like, I just want to go to sleep. Oh, no, ladies, I know we're going to the hospital. So yeah, and for me to say I'm sick or we're yeah, something's wrong.
I still feel the same. So I know we're going to go to the hospital when we finally get up. Wake back up at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Folks, it's gone. I mean, it's like a light switch. Blink. I mean, I feel okay. I don't have none of the symptoms that I just did 2 hours before and 2 days prior. I mean, it wasn't even a gradual, it just turned off, which I've never, ever, ever experienced anything like that before. So I don't know if any of y'all have experienced stuff like that, but it's happened to me 3 or 4 times now, really 4 times. And it's after I exert a bunch of energy lifting or whatever, washing the trailer or what have you. But what I just don't understand is, like I said, it's a light switch. You would think, you kind of get better. Like when you have the flu, you kind of get better gradually over a couple of days. I mean, it's like I never had any problems. A switch, bam, on to off. So, anyways, if any of y'all have any ideas of what that could probably, or what that could possibly be, in the research we've done, another thing I wanted to tell you that it feels like. So it feels like when if you ever had played sports, football, basketball, whatever, and you're lifting weights, running, that next day after lifting weights heavy, you feel sore, but then that second day you really feel sore. That's what it feels like. They've said it's delayed onset muscle soreness is what the symptoms were. So, anyways, if anybody's heard of that. Oh, and so this last time that this I ran into this, I actually went to the doctor a couple days afterwards, and I had elevated CPK level. Uh, and then something was mentioned about rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdomyolysis. I don't know what that means either, but anyways, again, I wanted to kind of throw that out there, so in case anybody's ever had that or they know what's going on, man, I sure would like to know. Um, Shout out to Monica and Dr. Drangler for everything they've done for us, the oncology team over there. Folks, I feel like I have my life back. I'm not 100%. I have these deals going on. I have very limited energy still, but it's getting better as the days go by. And we're excited to, I look at life totally different. And, once again, I've touched on this. When you have cancer or had cancer or in remission, you're looking over your shoulder every single day. So I go back in February, which is this coming up month. Right now I think we're January 20th, 21st, but I go back and we'll see. I mean, the next video I make may be everything still looks good, or it may be, hey, it's not looking good. One of the things he also told me is that my blood work, now that they're going to keep on top of it, he said he's looking for a blip. He said, if the cancer starts to come back, he'll see a blip on the screen. I don't know. I think that was just a saying that he was using. But anyway, so that's what we have going on. Um, I can't tell everybody how appreciative I am of the prayers. I mean, it is amazing. There's some amazing human beings out there that are fans that are, and I hate calling fans because you guys are more than fans to me. You're extended family. You guys come out and watch us race, and you send me unbelievable messages. And man, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that, how much I appreciate that. And we had it's been a tough year. It's been the toughest year financially on us that we've ever had. I mean, we blew up every single part that we owned, and you know, you know, just has been the roughest financially that we've ever had. Coming into this season. But once again, I'm alive. And another thing, I lost my father. We lost our father, this last year to an accident. In fact, I'm going to do a video on that too because again, it's just awareness. He had a fall at home, and if we captured it all on camera. And if we wouldn't have had the cameras, you probably would have thought, or we would have thought that he. In fact, we did at first until I watched the cameras, but we would have thought that he just fell and had a heart attack. But that's not what happened. He fell, but it wasn't a heart attack. So, anyways, we lost my dad, and I dedicate this video to him. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry that we didn't have the relationship we should have, when you passed, but we will definitely see each other again. But anyways, thank you, folks. Sorry it took so long to do this video, but I did it. We're going to put it up and show you some pictures and any kind of questions that you guys have. Once again, I'm all about being transparent and tell y'all what's going on and what I have done and what I didn't do. Man, y'all have sent me some crazy stuff. One guy sent me some type of weed pills, and I tried it. Oh my Lord! I think I woke up 4 days later, man.
I'll smoke to that.
It's not for everybody. It definitely wasn't for me, and I'm not even going to tell you what it was because it may work for somebody else, and I don't want to get a negative, review on it. So, anyways, thank you guys. Talk to you later. See you soon. Hit the like and subscribe button, and let's rock and roll. Let's make it 2024 the best it can possibly be. See y'all later.
There you have it.
TikTok is full.
There you have it, people. Uh, I'm good for him. Good for him. It's a cancer sucks, man. It does. Uh, uh, we'll just we'll just end that there. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Uh, thumbs up, and limpyreacts@gmail.com. It'll be down there, and everything will be down there from his channel. Y'all go give him a like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night.